Good morning, everybody, and happy Friday to you all. And hey, I've got some really important news for you. Because you've worked so hard on all your assessments, you don't have to come to school on Monday. Everyone can have a day off on Monday. Actually, it's a bank holiday weekend and the whole country will be having Monday off. But isn't that a lovely thing? That we've got an extra long weekend to enjoy doing the things that we like at home with our families. So normally weekends are 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. And this weekend you've got the extra bonus day of Monday to be at home. So that's a really nice thing. So enjoy that. Let's hope the weather stays good. Now we're having our weekly roundup of all things great in our school. And I have to say, I've got lots and lots of English work this week. So where shall we start? We shall start in year 5. And Mrs. Scrimshaw has been telling me how much she has been impressed by her class and their responses to some poems that they've been studying, all about wild animals being kept in the zoo. So some quite sad poems, actually. And that the children's responses to those poems have been phenomenal. So first of all, particularly for those younger children, just going to show you the quality of this work. This is Morgan's work. Have a look at Morgan's beautiful handwriting and how much he's written. And one day, year 1, year 2, you too will be writing as beautifully as these children. And this is Lissy's. Lissy, your handwriting is lovely. I love the pen that you use. You must tell me what you use to do your working, because I think it makes your handwriting extra beautiful. And you've been reading poems. I'll just read you the first verse of this one and then a little bit about what Morgan's written about it. It's called Tiger. He stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps of the cage, on pads of velvet, quiet in his quiet rage. And then the children had to say what they thought about the poem. So Morgan started off by saying, I think this poem is telling us clearly that tigers should live in the wild rather than in zoos. In the poem, the tiger is locked in a cell, spending all his day pacing his cage. He ignores all visitors. And then Morgan goes on to give a really good analysis and a really thoughtful and clever response to quite a hard poem, actually. So Morgan, that's really impressive. I like how you've set your work out and I love the points that you've made. Excellent work from you, Morgan. And Lissy, you were writing about a poem called Gorilla's Dream, imagining what gorillas might be dreaming about if they were in a zoo. So your poem started like this. Gorilla's Dream. Behind bars on cold concrete floors, he sits, wrinkled cheeks and bristled chin, doleful eyes watching, 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 and half remembering another life like a dream. And Lissy goes on to say in her lovely handwriting, I think the poem is about the gorilla dreaming about when he was in the wild with his gorilla friends. Oh, that makes me sad. I think the poet thinks that gorillas should be in the wild with other gorillas and not captured in cages where they can't hunt and can't swing on trees. Lissy, a very intelligent, very carefully written and beautifully presented piece of work. So well done to those two children in particular, but to all of Mrs. Scrimshaw's class. It looks like you've had a really good week studying those poems. Well done, Mrs. Scrimshaw's class. Okay, where to next? Let's have another little bit of English. We are going to year 4, and these pieces of work have come from Miss Nixon, who's been very pleased with her class. They are studying a book called The Iron Man, and they had to be authors themselves this week. They had to write the next part of the story. So in the story, the character of Hogarth has just seen the Iron Man for the very first time. So the children had to imagine, predict, and then write the story of what would happen next. And again, we've done so well with our handwriting. Your presentation, children, is wonderful. Elsa May, have a look at Elsa May's handwriting, everybody. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Quite small, Elsa May, but it's so clear to read and all joined, absolutely beautiful. And then Bobby, your story and your presentation is also fantastic. A different style, but there we've got it all joined and really neat. So I'll read some of these. This is Bobby's start to the story. Sprinting, panting, stumbling, Hogarth ran and ran like a cheetah. Crash! The house door slammed shut. The door shook. He flicked his shoes off and ran into the living room. "Dad!" he shouted. "There's a man made of iron. He's got green emerald eyes and he was searching the sea." Exhaustedly, said Hogarth. "Oh, slow down, Hogarth, and try again," Mum said, putting her hand on his shoulder. "I was fishing and I felt I was being stalked, so I turned around and I saw a giant." Bobby, it sounds just like it's come straight from the book, and it's so beautifully punctuated. You have got all of your speech marks correct. You've got beautiful exclamation marks, capitalisation for effect, lots and lots of writerly skills. You've even got your apostrophes in the correct place. So that is fantastic. Very much like a piece of work from an older pupil. So well done, Bobby. And then Elsa May, it's the same part of the story. Let's see how Elsa May told the next part. Dashing, tumbling, stumbling, Hogarth pushed open the house door, shouting, "Ah, Mum, Dad, there's an iron man outside." Running in, bang, he ran into the banister. His sister came down to see what was going on and she asked, "You okay?" "Family, all of you, there's an iron man out on the cliff top," screeched Hogarth. "Calm down," said Mum, calmly. "Are you all right?" wondered his sister again. "No!" exclaimed Hogarth. "What happened?" questioned Hogarth's dad in fear. "There's a big iron monster," jumbled Hogarth. Hogarth's dad frowned. His mum grew pale. Beside his father, his big sister sobbed quietly. Wow, that's such good quality. And again, Elsa May, your attention to detail, your speech punctuation is all correct. Really solid piece of work from you and beautifully presented. Well done, Elsa May. And then the last little bit of English I've got, we're going to Three Pine and Mrs. Hudson's class. Mrs. Hudson's class are studying a really great book by the author Dick King-Smith called The Sheep Pig. All about, it's a farmyard story really, all about a little pig who really should be heading to be eaten, but proves himself to be a wonderful, like a sheepdog, and he actually works with the sheep. So he saves himself from his fate. And the children in Mrs. Hudson's class have been writing descriptions of the farmer's wife, Mrs. Hoggett, in The Sheep Pig, and saying what kind of a person she is. So I've got two examples here. I have got Zach's and I have got Mila's. So here's Zach's description of Mrs. Hoggett. There she is. There's the picture. Let's see how Zach describes her. Mrs. Hoggett has a flushed red face and big old grey bushy hair. She has big blue eyes like a beautiful tiger. She's a jolly old chatterbox because she's smart. She has ruby red cheeks like a dragon, and she's a warm, cosy, friendly woman. Mrs. Hoggett loves to bake pickles and cake and jam. Yes, she spends a lot of time in the kitchen. Well done, Zach. You've done a really nice description of one of the main characters in The Sheep Pig. And then another one is Mila. Mila, again, I've got your work, lovely joined up writing from you. Oh, you got a merit for this one, Mila. Well done. Let's read your description. Mrs. Hoggett is a jolly old character. She's a chatterbox with a strong local accent. Her round red face has wrinkly skin and with sapphire blue eyes. Her apron is filled with soft white flour. Her curly cotton hair needs washing every day, otherwise you would see the flour in it. Beautifully written, with some lovely similes in there as well. And I liked the bit about the apron always having flour on it. It just conjures up this idea of a lovely farmer's wife who spends a lot of her time in the kitchen baking goodies for her family. So well done, Mila. Two more pieces of work to share with you before we finish. A little bit of science work now. And this is from Miss Hall's class in Year 4. And Oliver, it's your work today. And Miss Hall said, I just wanted to show you Oliver's work in science because he is proving himself to be a wonderful scientist. And again, if we're talking about presentation, have a look at this. This is an experiment that Year 4 did into looking at whether different materials could insulate sound. So I think the children had to wrap something up, a speaker, I think, in different materials and see which materials were the best insulators of sound. And Oliver did all the things that you would expect a good scientist to do. He wrote a hypothesis, a prediction. He predicted that the cardboard would be the most effective material to insulate. And then if we go right to the end of Oliver's experiment, let's find out what he actually found out. It goes over 3 pages. It looks to me that actually, looking at your graph, Oliver, the lovely bar graph there to show which one muffled the sound the best. It looks to me like it was actually the bubble wrap. So as a scientist, you had a hypothesis, a prediction, then you did a whole experiment, checked that out, and then changed your hypothesis into your conclusion. So that's absolutely marvellous. And a beautiful piece of work. Oh, can you hear that aeroplane? It's gone now. Just passing overhead. Well done, Oliver. Superb piece of work from you. And I know you have talents in many areas of the curriculum, maths, English, science, so many gifts. Well done, Oliver. And last but not least, I wanted to give you an update on Year 2's design and technology work. If you remember, I showed you that they were working on a big wheel, a fairground ride, and it was a really tricky project. Well, I've got 2 finished projects to share with you today. The first one was completed by Ella and Nyla and Remy and Charlie, and here is their finished fairground ride with the carriages there, and you can see how carefully it's been made so that when we turn the fairground ride around, all of the carriages don't tip up, because you wouldn't want that on a big wheel. And they've decorated every part of this, the sides, the wheel. Oh, that was yours, Ella, wasn't it? We saw that one when you just about started it. A beautiful symmetrical pattern, and they've had to attach on all of those carriages using an axle. Superb work, really impressive. And again, I think, you know, that looks like it could have been done by Year 5 or Year 6, because it's really quite a complicated piece of work. So well done to that group of children. And then finally, and I think it was the towers that really attracted me to this and how wonderfully it works. We've got Maya and Florence and their big wheel, their fairground ride. Look at the ride, look at this. Can you guess what the children used to support their axle? It looks to me like it's a pair of Pringle towers. Brilliant use of those cartons there, making a really sturdy base for your big wheel. Oh, let's put that one the right way around. There we go. And again, the big wheel turns, the carriages turn, and you've done a lovely job. And well done for really finishing your project off professionally so that it's decorated on all sides. That's a lovely, good quality, finished design and technology project. I think they are excellent quality, and I think you worked really hard on those. So well done, everybody, especially well done to everybody who's appeared in assembly today for doing an extra specially brilliant job. Have a lovely 3-day weekend, and I will see you not on Monday but on Tuesday. So have a lovely weekend, everybody. Bye for now.